but the Cripple Creek Ice Festival is back after a little bit of a hiatus for the past couple of years. And check it out, this one display sent in by David K. Johnson. Unbelievable. It says in the sea, if you look closely enough, it says state animals. That looks to maybe be a bighorn sheep on display, lit up at night with some of those neon lights. Something I've yet to see in person, but something that is on my bucket list. Now, this is a place I actually did an adventure at about a year ago. This is the Dinosaur Resource Center at Woodland Park. Looks like the T-Rex is outside enjoying the snow and the blue sky in this. An absolutely beautiful sunrise photo sent in by Joe and Kimmy Randall outside of Buena Vista, looking out towards the Collegiates, I believe. And this was on Thursday morning after the storm clouds appeared to be drifting away. Now tonight, setting the stage for some very windy conditions as we're now under these high wind warnings, mostly across the mountain areas, the eastern slopes, parts of Huerfano County. That does include this stretch of I-25, as well as Teller County, western parts of El Paso County. Spots here, especially in the higher terrain, could see gusts around 60 to 70 miles per hour. And check out those trends as we look at the wind gust forecast. I think we might get a little bit of a weakening component here in Trinidad after about 10, 11 o'clock, but they will pick back up around sunrise tomorrow. Walsenburg looks to be a shingle shaker all night long on Sunday with gusts between about 40 and 60 miles per hour. The forecast in the spring shows some weakening wind here in the next few hours, but for Pueblo, quite a bit windier than up across the Pikes Peak region, as we could see gusts around 25 to 40. Now, this current observation a little bit weaker with the wind than what we showed you on the last hour here on News 5. Wind speeds down around 10 miles per hour, outside temperature at 48 degrees, still under mostly clear skies. For Pueblo, we have 55 degrees at this 5 o'clock hour, but still very windy in the Steel City. Latest observation out of the airport coming in at about 28 miles per hour. Now we'll continue to see the wind, although again not as strong here locally for the I-25 corridor as what we'll see across the western areas, the mountain areas. But that westerly downslope wind, that is going to do the trick. A very warm President's Day, almost feeling more like early spring out there tomorrow versus the middle of winter. But don't get too used to it. Winter comes back later this upcoming week as we get this developing area of low pressure. It's going to drop down from the Pacific Northwest, sits right into the Great Basin by Wednesday morning. That sends in some energy, some lift, some moisture to parts of Colorado. Most of it will be in the mountains, northern parts of the state, probably seeing some higher totals than us here down to the south. But we are looking at a rain-snow mix throughout the day. Some gusty winds once again, and then some Arctic air that lingers behind it as we make our way towards the tail end of the upcoming week. All right, here's a look at those overnight lows tonight. We'll drop down to the upper 20s for the Springs and Denver, 23 in Monument, 24 in Woodland Park. Coldest air tomorrow west of the interstate up into the mountains. It will be windy in those spots as well. But check out the plains. A few areas could top out in the lower to even middle 60s. Right around 57 in the Springs on your super 7-day forecast, but even more super than that on Tuesday with a high of 60. Then we drop off about 20 to 30 degrees from Wednesday to Thursday as it will be windy with that potential for some light snow. Now notice the impact number, just a 1 out of 5 as we think amounts. Generally will be around an inch, maybe up to 2 in some spots. And that, keep in mind, is an early look at that snow total forecast. For Pueblo, windy on Monday, still breezy Tuesday, more wind with a rain to snow mix on Wednesday. And then we're bright but chilly on Thursday with a high of 37. Canyon City, I've got a high of 61 for your Tuesday. That's when most of us go back to work at school. 48 degrees on Wednesday, down to 38 on Thursday. And for Woodland Park, watching for that storm to move in on Wednesday morning with some light snow and gusty winds. The winter chill does linger behind it. Andy?